Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel on human design. I'm Pragya, and on this channel, we talk about life from the perspective of energy mechanics and try to understand it better so we can live better as our whole integrated and authentic selves. In today's video, I wanted to talk about what it is like being in relationship with a manifestor and some of the common issues that can stem from a manifestor being themselves in a relationship. You see, we have a homogenized idea of what a good relationship looks like and how people should act and behave in a relationship. But by virtue of being designed entirely unique and different, we all bring our unique quirks to every relationship we enter, and not all of them are perceived to be entirely positive. If we don't understand how we all require different things in a relationship and how we're all looking for different outcomes from a relationship, we're going to continue to perpetuate toxic norms and relationship standards that don't really bring true fulfillment to us or our partners. So let's understand the manifestor just a little bit better in this video. So the first type that I want to talk about is manifestors. And manifestors have a closed and repelling aura. This is because manifestors are here to manifest their energy into the world in the form of impactful action or impactful communication. In other words, a manifestor aura is designed to be dense so it can impact others to bring forth a physical manifestation of their energy into the world. If a manifestor aura wasn't as densely packed, closed, and repelling, humanity would not be able to venture into spaces that were unknown, that were outside of our comfort zone, that were beyond what was already a reality in the world that we live in. So, one of the first things to understand about manifestors in relationships is that they are here to be impactful in a relationship. And their impact is something that a lot of people end up being triggered by or end up taking very personally. You see, even when a manifestor is just out there doing their own thing, the fact that they are not with you creates an impact in your life, especially if manifestors fail to inform the people in their life about what it is that they are indulging in, what it is that they are engaging in. A lot of people can take personal offense to this closed off, highly independent nature of a manifestor. People in relationship with manifestors can become wary of the manifestor in their life because they do not understand what is going on within them, because they have no way of coming in touch with their aura and grasping information from their aura like they do with other people. So, not only is the manifestor aura very impactful and makes its presence known or lack of presence known, but also it is a very hard to read aura. If we can understand this about the manifestors in their life, if we can understand that they are designed to be closed off and independent for the most part, then we can begin to accept that their nature isn't personally saying something about us or our relationship with them. Allowing a manifestor to be free, independent, and in charge of manifestation is really, really important, which also means that it's really important for a manifestor to only be in relationships that they initiate, that they manifest into the world. And most likely, communication with the manifestor is also only going to be fruitful when they open themselves up to you. It is also important to remember that even when a manifestor initiates something with you, they do have that limitation of a closed aura, which can only be overcome or bypassed by the manifestor learning to inform others. You see, when a manifestor informs others, the suspicion of others can start to dissipate, and there can be a sense of security and trust in the relationship with the manifestor. And I know this is annoying for the manifestor to do, and not something the manifestor wants to do at all. But it appears that it is a necessary practice for the manifestor to inculcate in order to be in peaceful relationship with others. Manifestors also do not like to be told what to do. They are not here to respond. They are not here to be controlled. They are here to go their own way and open up that way for others if others want to join them in their manifestation. Meaning that manifestors are going to resist your attempt at wanting them to be open and enveloping, or resist your attempt at wanting them to be focused on you. They are not here for that. And understanding that a manifestor is not here to focus and penetrate, that a manifestor is not here to be open and enveloping and generate, that a manifestor is not here to reflect on things over a long period of time. Understanding this about a manifestor and not expecting them to act in ways that are not authentic and real for them can be really, really helpful for your relationship with the manifestor. If you're a projector in relationship with a manifestor, just understand that your interaction with the manifestor is only going to be successful when they initiate that interaction. And in that interaction, you might have a chance to observe them. You might have a chance to focus on them. You might have a chance to listen to them and be in their presence, but understand that that opening up is for them to impact you and not for you to guide them, unless they openly express that they want your guidance. If you're a generator in relationship with the manifestor, it is important to remember that they're not open and enveloping like you, that they potentially don't have the same kind of energy that you have consistently, and that they don't like to be asked yes and no questions. They don't like to respond. If you're constantly asking them questions or nagging them about something, they're probably going to be turned off by that and not want to engage with you. And this isn't because they don't love you or they don't care about you, but that they want to be treated in a way that brings out their manifestor nature rather than suppressing it or needing it to be different than what feels peaceful for them. A reflector and manifestor relationship can actually be quite a complementary relationship in some sense, because both the manifestor and the reflector have moments of being closed and resistant to others. However, the process of a reflector is very different than the process of a manifestor. One of the most common issues that I see in relationships that involve manifestors is the issue of power struggle. You see, people become very uncomfortable with the manifestor kind of being, in some sense, in charge of where the relationship goes, or when there is this opening up for interaction or this space for communication. It can make the other person feel little in some sense. You know, the manifestor design is like such a powerful design and such an impactful design that the person in relationship with a manifestor can feel like it's always on your terms. It's always what you want. It's always what you desire. It's always what you're open to or not, right? And this is an unavoidable, absolute to accept about being in relationship with the manifestor, that you don't need to be in a power struggle with them. That if it is really correct for you to be in a relationship with the manifestor, then it is correct for you to be impacted by their manifestation. That it is correct for you to be in that process with them. And it isn't about them having more power or more impact, but it is about you playing the role that you're here to play in that relationship, while them playing the role that they're here to play in that relationship. And that they're in it for their peace and you're in it for your success or your satisfaction or your surprise. You see, type for type relationships are in some sense quite resonant, as Ra would say as well, because you have this shared signature that you're both moving towards. And while in theory that does sound easier, and I am sure it is true to some extent that similar auras have a sense of unsaid comfort with each other and an unsaid understanding of how the other operates. But I also think it isn't necessarily the guarantee that it's going to work together. I mean, you can have two manifestors in relationship that want to manifest completely different things and want to go in completely different directions. So there isn't really any guarantee other than you entering into a relationship correctly as yourself and seeing what happens from there. If you're a projector or a generator or a reflector in relationship with a manifestor, your signatures or what you want from that relationship is going to be entirely different. A projector is looking for success, which comes through guidance. A generator is looking for satisfaction, which comes through the correct use of their sacral energy. A reflector is looking for surprise, which comes through them being in their lunar reflective process and coming to an understanding of the world around themselves over their lifetime. Something to also understand when it comes to being in relationship with the manifestor is that you're going to experience the not self theme of anger in relationship with a manifestor. A manifestor, when they are being asked to generate, when they are being asked to respond, or when they're being resisted in having the kind of impact that they want to have, or when they're being stopped from being themselves and doing their independent thing, are going to experience anger. They're going to experience the volatility that comes from their powerful motor center not being able to express itself in the way that it wants to express itself, in the way that it needs to express itself. And learning from those moments of anger as a partner of a manifestor is extremely important. Informing your partner about how you experience them can also shed a lot of light for the manifestor, because oftentimes they don't really have a felt sense of the impact of their aura on others, whether it's the peaceful kind of impact or the angry kind of impact. So having that kind of communication where you're informing your manifestor partner and they're informing you, so that there can be this deep communion in your relationship, is really, really important. Overall, being in relationship with the manifestor requires us to understand their closed, impactful aura, requires us to understand their independent nature, requires us to understand that they don't want to be asked questions a lot. They don't want to be nagged. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be controlled. They're here to move in their own lane. And all of us are in our own ways, but they're less open to interpersonal conditioning. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that they don't love you. That doesn't mean that you're not in a good relationship. Of course, it's up to your strategy and authority if that kind of relationship works for you or not. But overall, being in a relationship with a manifestor requires us to understand that they cannot change the way that their aura operates. and that if we are to be in relationship with them, that is something that we have to learn to not only accept but appreciate about.